Yo guys, it's Slaro. You already know that today I'm bringing you my team breakdown for week 1 of season 2 of the Pokemon Premier League, and I'm so excited to bring you this, not only because it is the very first week of season 2 of PPL, but also because this match is against SHROOM'S and the Parasect Germain. And this is a match that I've been looking forward to for a while, because I have a little bit of a bone to pick with Shroomy. We battled last season where I think he was pretty heavily favored to win, and I was so close to beating him. And I didn't exactly lose to a crit. I could have won if it weren't for the crit. It kind of just sealed it in the bag. So I got really close to beating him before, and I want to be able to beat Shroom. So I have sat down, I have prepared a team that I think is capable of dismantling Shroom's team. So, yeah, we are going to do our best to get a victory in week 1 of the PPL. It's not going to be easy, but I do think it is doable. I do think we have a pretty good shot to win this, but we just have to be very careful, and this battle is going to be difficult, for sure. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring up pictures of Shroom's team, and let's just run through what Shroom is bringing to this match. Now, he has Victini, Empoleon, Chesnaught, Umbreon, Mismagius, Thundurus-I, Tyrantrum, Sandslash, Furfrou, Scyther, and Mega Audino. And if I am able to count correctly, he is one of the only people that has 11 Pokemon on his team. I am one of those other people. And, of course, you guys should know my whole team. The 6 you see here are, of course, the 6 that I'm bringing. The ones that I'm not bringing are, man, I'm gonna have to do this off the top of my head: Dragonite, Kecleon, Musharna, Sawsbuck, and Dragalge. I think that makes 11. So those are the Pokemon I'm not bringing. A couple of them I was very close to bringing, but I think this is the 6 that give you the best chance to win this match. Really want to start off the season on a positive note with the victory, as well as just show everybody, especially if people don't know who I am, that I can play with, you know, the best people in this format, in this league, I should say, not this format, in this league. SHROOM'S is definitely looked at as one of the best people in this league, as well as having one of the best drafts in this league. And I want to put myself out there and be like, hey, I'm in this too, don't write me off. So, let's go ahead and go through what I decided to bring. The first one that I wanted to go over is Scizor, because Scizor actually kind of runs through his team. He doesn't have, as far as this moveset in particular, he does not have many switch-ins. The only one that he kind of does is maybe a defensive Thundurus-I, but besides that, he does not have a switch-in. Sandslash takes a decent amount from a superpower, especially because I decided to make this thing choice banded. I was back and forth on what kind of item I wanted to bring. I went from Life Orb to Expert Belt to Leftovers, but eventually I settled on choice band. The reason, mainly Mega Audino, is the issue, because if I have Life Orb, I want to be able to have Roost, because I don't want to end up taking myself out to Life Orb recoil. Scizor is probably the most important Pokemon in this match. Easily the most important Pokemon I have in this match, in my opinion. I do not want this thing to go down. This thing is here to hit hard. So that's why I didn't want Life Orb. And Expert Belt, just, I want to be able to do damage, a lot of damage, even if he makes a decent switch. Like, I don't know, without, like, if it was an Expert Belt and I hit a move and it wasn't super effective, I'm getting no boost from that. And I took Leftovers off because I just had Leftovers on too many of my Mons, and I didn't want that. So I decided to set on Choice Band, 236 HP, 252 Max Attack, Adamant, and 20 EVs in Speed, with Aerial Ace, Superpower, Iron Head, and Knockoff. The reason for this is that I naturally outspeed all of his defensive Mons, basically. I think Umbreon is base 65, and Sandslash might be base 65. If I remember correctly, I think Empoleon is base like 60. I think Chesnaught 64. Like, the right under. Mega Audino is base 50. Furfrou is an exception. Furfrou is base like 102. Like, I'm not outspeeding that. So he has a lot of things that are very close to outspeeding Scizor, but don't quite do it. I know that he's probably going to see that Scizor can do a big number to his team, So he's probably going to be running a surprise HP Fire on something, and he might try and speed creep me with some of those defensive mons, and that's why I have 20 EVs in speed to outspeed any sort of speed creeping sets. So I'll still be able to outspeed. The one thing that I'm kind of worried about in terms of choice band is Spiky Shield on Chesnaught. Once he figures out that I'm banded, I'm really never going to be able to hit that Chesnaught with an Aerial Ace, which really sucks. But it's kind of the drawback that I have for choosing a choice band. That's why I wanted to be able to switch moves. That way, like, you know, I can use Aerial Ace and then he'll think he can switch out and then I'll just like knock off on something. So yeah, I don't know. I think this moveset will be good. I think Scyther's still going to put in a whole lot of work. I just have to be careful bringing Scyther in, because like I said, I think he's going to have a lot of Pokemon that are going to have fire type moves. Also, I should probably go over the team that I'm expecting him to bring. Of course, I'm preparing for everything, but I really think that the 6 Pokemon he's going to bring is going to be Victini, Empoleon, Chesnaught, Mismagius, Thundurus-I, and Mega Audino. And if he doesn't bring one of those and bring something else instead, then that just gives me a better shot to win, because I think those are the biggest, the 6 Pokemon that do the biggest number to my team, either offensively or defensively. So that's what I'm expecting, but we'll see. Let's see. So that's Scyther. Because I am facing Germain, also just because of his team, I had to be a little bit creative. Also, I'd like to think that I'm a pretty creative team builder. So, one thing that can win yourself games is surprise Scarfers. And, I decided to bring one myself in the form of Donphan. So, let's just go into what this set is before I go into why I brought it. I have Choice Scarf Donphan with Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Rapid Spin, Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly, with the extra 4 in defense. Max Speed, Jolly Donphan outspeeds Victini by 1 point. This is Jolly or Timid Max Speed Victini, or whatever, like 252 speed increasing nature Victini. This Donphan outspeeds by 1 point, which I think is hilarious. And Earthquake has a 68 point something chance to OHKO. He's not going to scarf his Victini. My team is really slow. Typhlosion is the fastest model on my team, base 100. Typhlosion also doesn't really get any moves to hit Victini, so he has no reason to scarf it just for that reason. As well as the only other one that comes close is Sawsbuck at 95. He's not going to scarf his Victini just to outspeed a scarfed Sawsbuck, which I would have no reason to bring anyway. The things Victini, I think, is either going to be special or mixed. I don't really. It's either going to be Banded, Specs, Life Orb, Expert Belt, or I guess Leftovers. He might bring something a little bit bulkier. But if this is if he isn't bulky, I have a chance to OHKO him first turn of the match. I think he's going to lead with either Victini or Empoleon. And if he does lead with Victini, I imagine he'll start with U-turn. I guess he could lead Thundurus as well for Volt Switch. But I have switch-ins, really good switch-ins into Empoleon and Thundurus. Not so much Victini. So if I get it right and he starts off with Victini, I can go straight for an Earthquake. If he starts off with anything else, if he starts off with Empoleon, he's probably going to want Rocks Up, which means I can get my own Rocks Up. If he starts off with Thundurus, I have a switch-in for that, a very good one. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But I don't really see any others. Maybe Tyrantrum, which in that case, I'd probably just get up Rocks. But something. We'll see. But Donphan is my dedicated lead, and I think a Choice Scarf could come into play. Also, if he doesn't put a lot of speed in his Thundurus-I, maybe if I do get to take out Victini, the Scarf can still come in handy for using Stone Edge on the Thundurus. I might be able to outspeed depending on his speed investment. And outside of that, I just want to be able to get Rocks Up. I really want Rocks Up. It's really going to hinder that Victini. Also, since I don't think that he's going to bring Sandslash, if he wants to remove hazards, he has to bring Defog on Empoleon. And if he has Defog, then that means that he won't have hazards on my side of the field, which is really helpful for me, because I want to be able to switch in my Pokemon. And he has reasons to bring rocks, like Breaking Sturdy on Donphan. Also, when he sees the Typhlosion, like, it doesn't appreciate rocks, so he might want to get Rocks Up. But if he wants to get rid of hazards on his side, he's going to have to defog or bring Sandslash, which honestly either of those two are perfectly fine with me. So yeah, Scarf Donphan. I want to be innovative week 1, and I think it'll work. I'm hoping. because I don't know. Shroomy still needs to figure out how he wants to use Victini and all this different stuff he wants to do with it, and he also needs to see how people are going to counter his Victini, which he hasn't seen yet, and I think that's going to make the set a little bit more likely to work. If this match had happened more in the middle of the season, it might not work as well. But either way, so let's talk. Let's just go ahead into, and I'm not going to go in order, but Victini is an issue no matter what, and so let's talk switch-ins. Let's talk, what would I switch in to a Victini? Well, I decided to look up and down my team to see if there was anything on my team that could deal with a banded Victini. And wouldn't you know, I have a switch into banded Victini. And it looks a little something like this. Physically defensive Typhlosion with Hidden Power Ground, Heat Wave, Roar, and Toxic, max HP, max defense, the extra 4 in special attack with the Flash Fire ability. So, I am immune to Victini's most powerful stab move. It does absolutely nothing to me, and its coverage moves do less than 50%. Bolt Strike and Zen Headbutt. Both of them do less than 50, not much less than 50, mind you, but less than 50, which is great. So, yeah, Typhlosion is kind of my switch into Victini, especially if it's physical. I really need to figure out what kind of Victini he's bringing. Also, this Typhlosion can deal really well with Chesnaught. I also have Roar, which could roar things out like Mega Audino, especially if you start setting up Calm Minds or Curses with Umbreon, should you bring it. Also, I can't really use it for Dragon Dance Tyrantrum because I'm pretty sure that could just take me out with an Earthquake, things like that. Like, at least after one Dragon Dance, I haven't done that calc. Definitely if he would get up a second Dragon Dance, he would easily be able to take me out. But things like that. Also, I could roar out like Furfrou if he sets up a lot of Cotton Guards or something. Who knows? Like, it could be really useful and toxic to just wear down some of his walls. Namely like Chesnaught. If I could toxic the Victini, that'd be great. Or Thundurus, anything that he might want to switch in. Maybe I can get a toxic on the Mega Audino. Maybe he won't bring Heal Bell. I don't know. I just think that this is the best moveset that I could bring. Hidden Power Ground is to hit the Victini. Originally, I was going to put the remaining 4 in attack and run Earthquake, but surprise, surprise, with that investment, with fully physically defensive investment, Hidden Power Ground and Earthquake do the exact same amount of damage. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well get the more powerful Fire Stab in Heat Wave than running Fire Punch. I don't know if Typhlosion gets Flare Blitz, but I don't really want the recoil on a defensive Mon. Also, I'm a fan of Heat Wave. I'll just clarify that now. I don't like Fire Blast. It misses too much for me, and Flamethrower just doesn't have enough power, and I think Heat Wave is a very solid middle ground. So, usually with my fire types, you'll see Heat Wave unless I absolutely need the power for Fire Blast. You probably won't ever see me run Flamethrower. So yeah, that's all that. That is Typhlosion. Other things, it's basically my team is kind of dedicated switch-ins with Sizzler to punch holes in this team. So, I just wanted to make sure that I had dedicated switch-ins to his biggest threats. One of those threats, and one that I think is going to put in a good amount of work this match, is this Conqueror I'm bringing, which, surprise, can switch into a choice-banded Head Smash Tyrantrum. With this investment, actually Dragon Claw does more than Head Smash, but I am bringing Conqueror with max HP, basically max defense, the remaining in attack, Impish Nature with an Assault Vest, Drain Punch, Knock Off, Mach Punch, and Ice Punch. This is just meant to take hits all around. It is more dedicated for something like Tyrantrum. Could switch into Sandslash if he brings it. A lot of other things that it could deal with. If it has a lot of health, it can switch into Victini. Especially, it really does depend. That's why I need to figure out what kind of Victini that affects what can switch into it. Depending on what kind of a Victini it is, Conkeldurr might be able to switch into a hit. Lantern might be able to switch into a hit. So it really just depends. Donphan's another one, might be able to switch into a certain hit. So it really just depends. The Assault Vest is there so he can just take on Empoleon. He's not going to want to go for Scalds, and this is just going to kind of eliminate that threat even more so. And if he wants to go for Skulls and risk it, maybe I'll get a burn and get a Guts Conqueror. Drain Punch is going to do a lot. Drain Punch does a lot to a lot of his team. Actually, this coverage hits his whole team. Drain Punch hits Empoleon, Umbreon, Tyrantrum, Furfrou. Knockoff, hits Victini and Mismagius. Ice Punch, hits Sandslash. I guess it technically hits Scyther, but everything hits Scyther because it's, a Scyther. Ice Punch also hits Chesnaught. Chesnaught is the best thing that can switch in on this. But then I can at least knock off its item, maybe get an Ice Punch, something, or switch into something I can deal with it. Conkeldurr is going to be a pretty big threat. I kind of wish that I was able to put more offensive investment, but I just needed this amount of damage, or this amount of defensive investment just to stop Tyrantrum from sweeping my team. Because that is a very possible thing that could happen. So, definitely don't want that to happen, so that's why I brought the Conkeldurr I did. I want to try and use Conkeldurr in a lot of different ways, and this is semi-unique, I guess. It's still a pretty standard moveset, but at least the EVs are a little different. I really want to try and be unique with Conkeldurr this season, but I still want to make sure that things make sense. The last big threat that I still didn't have a switch into is Thundurus. Thundurus can do a decent amount to my team. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe he won't bring it. That's the one that I'm kind of iffy about, but I don't know what he would bring in its place because I think he needs special offense. Never mind. He could bring special Victini and Mismagius. Either way, Lantern, Lantern basically completely shuts down Thundurus. 100% shuts down Thundurus. Not only that, it can deal with other things. It can deal with Mismagius. It can deal with Empoleon, and yeah, it can deal with special Victini, kind of. It doesn't deal with like a Specs Energy Ball or anything, but anything outside of that, it basically deals with. Yeah, so this is max HP, max special defense, calm nature, the remaining in special attack. Leftovers, Volt Absorb, Heal Belt, Volt Switch, Scald Ice Beam. The Volt Absorb is just for the Thundurus. I already had a secondary switch into Empoleon. I didn't need to run Water Absorb. Also, I feel like there was another... Maybe not. I thought there was another electric move. I don't think he's going to be Thunder Waving anything. So yeah, it's basically just for Thundurus. Yeah, it's basically just for Thundurus. Of course, there aren't really any other like water moves he'll be running. So, but yeah, I just thought Volt Absorb made more sense. I can stop him from Volt Switching, which is going to stop his momentum a little bit. We'll see exactly how this works out, but I think Lantern is really good bring to this match, as it can deal with a lot of stuff. Plus, it gives me Volt Switch, so I can Volt Switch a lot. Like I think, once I can switch it in on something like Thundurus, or I switch it in on something like Empoleon, it's like those Pokemon can't do anything to Lantern, so they'll probably switch out, or I don't know, maybe they'll attack, and I can just switch out. Honestly, I should have probably put this as a minus speed nature to get a slow Volt Switch off, because Lantern can take the hit and then get out of there, but it's a little too late. This team is already genned, so whoops. I don't know. I think I'll still be fine. I'll be able to Volt Switch on a lot of things. I'll still be able to tell what he's doing, especially if he switches out. I'll get momentum. Also, another Pokemon that's going to help me get momentum, as well as just a Pokemon that can deal with this team decently well, is, of course, the last member of our team, which is going to be Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a mon that I can't even put into words how much I underestimate this Pokemon, and I really hope everybody else does too, because this thing is scary. This thing is really, really scary. Also, I just want to point out that I have 0 IVs in attack for both Typhlosion, Lantern, and Gardevoir, just because Foul Play exists on Umbreon. But it's not going to come into play too much against those mons. Foul Play is actually the reason I'm not running Swords Dance on Scizor. That's the main reason, as well as I just needed the 4th coverage move. But Gardevoir I'm bringing with Expert Belt with Wish Protect, Moonblast, Focus Blast, Max HP, Max Special Attack, bonus the remaining in Special Defense. With the Synchronized ability, don't know if I said that, but I'm bringing Expert Belt basically because I didn't want to have half my team with leftovers, as well as I have Wish Protect for recovery, so I don't necessarily need leftovers, and I just like to be able to hit more. Moonblast does over half to an Umbreon. Focus Blast also hits an Umbreon, and also hits something like if Empoleon wants to switch in on a Moonblast. Things like that. I think Moonblast and Focus Blast are good enough attacks for me. Once he figures out that he can switch on those two, I mean, I have Wish. I can Wish Pass, keep Donphan sturdy intact, get Scyther back up to better health, Wish Pass into Lantern. Wish Passing is going to be really effective in this game if I can pull it off. I also just have Wish Protect for myself. But I think there's a lot of things that can switch into Gardevoir, which is why I will be able to get a Wish up, and then I can switch into something that can take the hit and then just heal back all the health. It's basically like a free switch. If I get a Wish up as he switches into Victini or something, then I can switch into something that I otherwise wouldn't normally switch into, but then it'll take the hit and then I can get the health back, and then, you know, I feel like I would have the momentum in that case. So yeah, that's most of his team. The things that I didn't really plan for too much, things like Scyther, things like Furfrou. Furfrou I kind of looked into. Furfrou can take hits like a champ. Holy crap! I think Furfrou, like, it's like as bulky as Umbreon almost. Like, that's what it feels like anyway. At least with the calcs. The problem with Furfrou is that it doesn't get recovery. It'll get worn out really easily, and that's why I don't think he'll bring it. Also, you know, he can set up cotton guards and whatnot, but I have so many things to hit him on the special side, as well as Furfrou just can't do much offensively that I don't think it's coming. Scyther is just really frail. It's really, really frail, as well as I don't think has enough power to take out my Pokemon the way that he would want it to. So I just really don't think Scyther's coming. If it does, then props to him. I think I'll be fine, especially if I can get rocks up. So yeah, because I feel like if you bring Scyther, then I don't know. Then he really just can't expect to have rocks on my side. I think you're starting to see that with my team. It's kind of starting to be centered around limiting my opponent's options for moves. I'm going to kind of deter Shroomy from this match from going for Scalds, Volt Switches, and V-Creates, or random Hidden Power Fires. Random Hidden Power Fires for Scizor, if I, see one coming, I can switch into Typhlosion for that. Use it as a pivot, things like that. Like, there's so many options that I'm limiting Shroomy from doing effectively. He can still try and go for it, but I have a way to stop them, and I think that's going to work in my favor this match. So, that is my team. I think, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good team. I was talking to some people, and Dragonite might not have been a bad idea to bring, but I think Dragonite requires a bit more setup to be effective in this particular match, not in general, in this particular match, than Scizor does. I think Scizor just immediately tears more holes through than Dragonite would. I know they have the same base attack and everything, but just, I don't know, the moveset that Scizor has, I think, just hits better. And I think having them both on the same team just wouldn't have made as much sense when I need all these other switch-ins. But yeah, so I think this is the team that will help me do the best. And yeah, you have listened to my team building and me ramble on quite a bit. I think I got all of my thought processes out as far as why I brought the team I did. Go ahead and leave your thoughts about this team in the comment section below. Comment what how you think the battle is going to go. The battle will be up either tomorrow or later today, depending on what day I upload this. Because I don't know if I'm uploading this on Friday or Saturday. So, yeah, the battle will be uploaded Saturday. So, regardless of what day it is right now, the battle will be up Saturday. And then, yeah, you guys can see. Hopefully, we're going to start off with a win. I really want this win. You have no idea. And this is such a winnable match. As soon as I get rid of Victini, the game is basically mine. But Shroom's a really smart player, so we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to stop talking now, do all the things I said, and I will see you guys in the battle. So, thanks again for watching. Till the next time, guys, stay sly.